Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio. Now, I'm super excited to be here on this beautiful day because it is a beautiful Tuesday morning and we still have a lot left to be talking about on this beautiful day, all right? So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you are a part of the conversation. You're always listening to the conversation because, like I said, I have a lot to be sharing with you with regard to everything that is happening, not just here in the UK, but in fact, all over the entire world, all right? So if you're someone who loves to stay informed, if you're someone who loves to be aware about everything that happens all over the world, then Relax Radio is in fact the place for you. All right. And the reason I'm telling you this is obviously because that way you can actually make sure that you're always informed, that you're always updated about everything that happens. All right. Now, the best way for you to actually do this, the best way for you to be a part of this show, to get in touch with me so you can share your thoughts and ideas with me, is actually by making sure that you text me on 078 Text me, call me, whatever it is that whatever way it is that you want to communicate with me, use that, all right? Because I want to know what you're thinking, I want to know what you're feeling, and I want to know what exactly you think is what exactly you think about whatever we are talking, because you're tuned into the sunrise and I'm here to energize your mornings, and I am here with with a tinge of distancing to actually make sure that you're listening in, that you're sharing your thoughts and opinions with me. Okay, so don't forget to do that. Now, before we head into our conversation, which is basically about if artificial intelligence is in fact the way which we can go about to, or rather for the early detection of cancer, before we head into that conversation, I want to very quickly remind you that you can in fact go follow us on our socials, right? Go like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. That way you can actually make sure you're always listening to our conversation, that you're always the first person to know about everything that we talk about. All right, don't forget to do that. And obviously something else that you can keep in mind as well is the fact that you can download an app, right, which is available on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. That way you can actually make sure that you're always informed and you're always a part of this conversation. All right, you can join in live to this conversation. You can share your thoughts and your opinions with me, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, so don't forget to do that. Don't forget to get on board the show, share your thoughts and your opinions with me. All right, so make sure you do that now. Don't forget to do that. But before I forget to remind you once again, remember to text me on 078 to share your thoughts and your opinions with me. Right now, however, let's actually head into our conversation, which is about the early detection of breast cancer and why exactly that is important. All right. Now, the reason I'm going to be talking about breast cancer is because it is, in fact, one of the most common cancers that I've found, not just in the UK or in Ireland or wherever. It's, in fact, the most common cancer globally, right? Which means that a lot of women globally go through breast cancer. Okay, now breast cancer is mostly seen in women. However, having said that, that doesn't mean that there aren't men with breast cancer. There are, in fact, some cases where men do get breast cancer. However, it's mostly affected, women are the ones who are mostly affected by breast cancer. All right, so let's actually get into the news about this new artificial intelligence that exists to or rather for the early detection of breast cancer. All right. So, like I said, breast cancer is in fact the most common cancer here in the United Kingdom. However, over a quarter of those cases are in fact preventable, right? And what that means is that it's preventable if we actually, if we were much aware about all the symptoms of breast cancer, and that we diagnosed ourselves much earlier, it can in fact be preventable, right? Which seems like a very terrible thing because not a lot of people, I mean, sure, a lot of people have heard about breast cancer. A lot of people know, oh, breast cancer is this, it happens in your breast, and it's basically a malignant growth. However, not a lot of people are aware about the many ways in which it can happen, right? But don't worry, that's why I'm here, because I'm here to educate you on all of that. But it's something that can be avoided, it's something that can be prevented, right? And that's why we should keep using these technologies, keep using these methods to make sure that we can prevent breast cancer as much as possible. Right now, the new artificial intelligence technology is in fact set to support breast cancer screening in Ireland, right? And this is because it has emerged there. Now, the mammography intelligent assessment, actually, it assists radiologists in the process of examining images, where they basically act as an independent second reader, to give opinions in terms of breast cancer screening, right? Now, this was actually developed by a UK based applied science company called Karen Medical Technologies, and it has now been made available across Ireland through medical supply company Hospital Services Limited, right? So, Hospital Services Limited has in fact made it available all throughout Ireland, and that's why it's absolutely amazing. Something very positive to start your day with, because if this means that you can detect breast cancer at an early stage, that means it can actually be prevented as well. Okay, which is absolutely amazing. Now, this medical company actually has bases in both Dublin and Belfast, and the company distributes medical supplies and surgical equipment to public and even private hospitals. Okay, so Karen's chief commercial officer, who happens to be Alex Hamlow, he said that their mission is to actually support breast screening professionals in the fight against breast cancer, right? And it has been proven that AI is in fact an effective tool that is helping them diagnose breast cancer. So that is what we're talking about. Now, make sure you stay tuned, because right now we're going to head into a small break, and after that we will be back to keep talking about this. But until then, make sure you stay tuned.
The valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for? Why am I doing it? When will I need the money? And how much money do I need? Yeah. So that's quite important, because when you're looking at your net worth, you got to start with saying, well, what do I want my net worth to be? So that there's a goal, and then work backwards. How do I get there? And if I can start with £50 or $50 a week, if I save that every week, and you can go online and use calculators online. I don't have to teach you the maths behind it, but you can say, okay, and if I get a 3% return and I put this away for how long will it take to reach my goal? And that's called just this basic cash flow projection calculations. And it's what we use in financial planning all the time. What we say to clients is we say, okay, what is your goal? What is your objective? Where do you want to go to? And we discuss that in a lot of detail and over most of the meeting. And then the rest of it is saying, okay, in your exact circumstances, with your risk profile, with how you feel about investments and pensions and taxes and where you are and who you work with, and your education level or your lack of education, or how involved you want to be. There's a lot of variables that we take into account, and then we say, okay, here's a plan. You start like this, that's great. And then we review it all the time, and we say, okay, we need to increase it, we're on track, we're not, this is what is happening. Because remember, when you're dealing with assets, the valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's a struggle. Yeah. So there are strategies everywhere from £50 a week up to £100 million, and they're different, right? They range differently from everyone, but and from country to country, to be fair. Different countries have different tax laws, so different vehicles. But from your point of view, at the sort of normal end, I'm not going to call it the low end because I'm in that boat as well. It's as tax efficient as you can get it. That's where you start. You use all the tax efficiencies, and then you step up into different things.
Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio. You're tuned into the sunrise, and I'm here to give you company all the way until 9 a.m. So make sure you stay tuned because I have a lot of interesting things and a lot of interesting information that I will, in fact, be sharing with you through the course of the day. So don't forget to do that. All right. Now, if you're very, very interested in some of the content that we talk about, then the best place for you to actually make sure that you are informed and that you're aware about everything that we talk about is in fact our social media. Okay, now if you go like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, that way you can actually make sure that you're always informed and you're always sharing your thoughts and your opinions with everyone who is listening in. All right, and it's not just you, but in fact, you can share with your friends, your family, whoever it is that is interested in knowing about what is currently happening in the world. Don't forget to do that. All right. Now, I want to very quickly remind you that you can also text me on 07852473473 to get in touch with me, share your opinions with me. Let me know what you want to do, or rather what you are feeling, right? So don't forget to do that. Don't forget to text me or call me, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm completely fine with it. Just make sure you text me or call me to share your thoughts and opinions with everyone who is listening in. All right. So that is that, but don't forget to download the app either, which is available on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. That way you can actually make sure you are informed and you are joining the conversation live, and I don't think it gets any better than that. All right, so don't forget to do that. Now let's quickly head back into our conversation because we still have a little bit more left to talk about it. So let's actually talk about it right now. Okay, now to get back into a conversation which is basically about artificial intelligence in terms of breast cancer screening. Now they've actually found some new technology that can help screening professionals with diagnosing breast cancer. Right now, Alex Hamlow, who happens to be the chief commercial officer at Karen, actually said that they're excited that MIA is in fact the first AI independent reader solution that is available for use within the breast screening community across the island of Ireland. Okay, now based on its performance in the UK and the Europe, MIA actually represents a major breakthrough in helping radiologists to dramatically improve breast cancer detection and patient outcomes. Okay, and I think that's the best part about it, because you're going to see a significant change, a significant change obviously in terms of how cancer is detected and how these patients are treated, right? Which means that now there will in fact be a much higher chance in making sure that breast cancer is treated much better, right? Now, according to Breast Cancer Ireland, and these are just statistics in Ireland, 690 deaths are attributed to breast cancer annually, right? And this is just in the Republic of Ireland. And about 3,700 women in Ireland are diagnosed every year with breast cancer. So in their meetings, so basically in MIA's, or rather Karen's meetings with radiologists and breast screening program leaders across Ireland, they've actually have the opportunity to discuss how AI and MIA can help both radiologists and women they care for. Okay, so basically what this whole thing does is that it actually has a lot of potential to make the screening service much easier, but also to make it much more accurate, right? And the reason I'm saying this is obviously because this is artificial intelligence, right? It can detect certain things better than humans can, and it can also give you much more accurate results, or accurate results that you need much a little bit better than humans. Okay, so that's why it's going to help as well. So, Dominic Walsh, who happens to be the HSL's chief executive officer, added that they're actually looking forward to bringing the MIA solution to the breast screening community throughout Ireland. And it has tremendous potential to transform the breast screening pathway by empowering breast screening professionals to detect potential malignancies more accurately and even quickly, right? Which means that more lives are going to be saved, and the fight against breast cancer is actually going to improve, right? And what you need to keep in mind is Ireland, in fact, faced a cancer crisis beginning of this year, earlier this year, due to the delay in screening last year due to COVID, right? Now, the HSE screening programs came to a stop for several months because of the pandemic, which meant that a lot of people who were due for screenings, who had, appointments for screening and who did routine screening, couldn't actually go and get it done. And because of that, there was in fact a surge in the cancer crisis, because so many undetected patients had, there was like this influx of undetected cancer patients coming to screening centers because they wanted to get themselves screened because of the inability to get themselves screened last year, right? So that is basically what happened. And obviously, that's why it's very, very important for us to understand and keep in mind that this is what happened in Ireland, right? Now, like I said, because it came to a stop last year, it actually put many patients in danger, and these were staggering 1.2 million people on various hospital waiting lists, right? Now, from over 800,000 public patients to those waiting from scans for national screen from the National Screening Service, right? So, actually, if you take the number of people who actually couldn't get screening tests last year, about 114,682 out of them were supposed to have breast cancer checks last year, but they failed to do so. Which means that, now, in terms of treatment, in terms of making sure they get the correct medicine, there is in fact a little bit of a loss. There is in fact a little bit of a delay when it comes to that. Now, make sure you stay tuned, because right now we're going to head into a small break, and after that, we will be back to keep talking about this. But until then, you got to make sure you stay tuned, all right?